So- And we're back. Welcome back to the Who Need One podcast. My name is Shanta Tabron. I am I guess, moderator of the Who Need One podcast, and I'm coming live from you from McKinley's Irish Pub. And I just want to thank everyone out there for listening in. And if you got any questions with our guests that we have, please pop them up, and any comments, and send them to me, and we can ask them live. But I'm really excited about our guest today. You know that we've had a lot in the Johnston County area with the women's softball team that went out and won the World Series, and fortunate enough to have Ronnie, and don't let me misspell your last
Korea, like a country.
Correia, misspeak.
Yeah.
Ronnie Correia. He is the league president of the Johnston County Little League, and we're excited to have you, Ronnie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, for sure.
Yeah. How has life been last month?
Cool. It's been a crazy 10 days,
Yeah.
especially starting back to Sunday, probably about 10 minutes after they won it.
Yeah.
The phone started going, and phone and email probably went every 10, 15 minutes, starting
Yeah.
Sunday evening into Monday. And they're finally starting to slow down and kind of catch back up, get back to normal.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I told him, I said, when as soon as it happened, and someone asked me, how did I get you on? I said, well, I kind of low key stalked the Facebook, and one of my good friends, Emily, she was at the game, and I think she knows. Well, her kids go to school with I think Peyton.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she was, cheering out about, shouting out about
Yeah.
Peyton, and then her mom was on that string. So I kind of low key
Yeah.
instant messaged her mom, Peyton's mom, and I said, hey, this is, I'm not a stalker, so don't get upset. I know you don't know me, but I said, I saw that Emily Chase and Peyton go to school together, and I would love to kind of get the girls to come out
Sure.
here so McKinley's can give them the McKinley's style of how we celebrate here.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but she said to reach out to you. So that's how the ball got rolling. So I reached out to Ronnie, and emailed him. And he said I mean, graciously, you didn't even have to even try, but you kept trying to, I guess fit us in. But I knew that soon as and I won the state championship back in '88, and I just knew the hoopla and
Oh,
the
yeah.
grades and
Yeah.
all the things that we had. So, and I can only imagine it was Mach 10 from 1988. But he said that, hey, I'm free. I said, I'm not the girls or the coach. I said, look, Ronnie, I said, I want anybody that is a part of Johnston County to be glad to have you guys on. So again, that's how I got Ronnie here. Again, I like to think of myself as an investigative reporter now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you did a lot of behind the scenes work.
behind the scenes work to
Yeah.
get you here. But before we talk about Little League, but before we talk about the girls, let's talk about Ronnie. Let's just tell me a little bit about you and your path and how you got where you are today.
Yeah, so I'm actually originally from south east Pennsylvania, a little bit north of Philadelphia. It's
Okay.
kind of where I grew up until I was a freshman in high school and moved down here with my family, and went to Garner High School for 4 years.
Okay.
Graduated in 2003. Played sports all the way through. Didn't play any school sports because my grades probably weren't the best, and I wasn't exactly academically eligible all the way through high
It's
school.
okay.
So, but lesson learned and a good lesson
Yeah.
for my kids
Yeah.
as they start playing high school sports.
You
But
can tell them about how not to do it.
that's right. That's right. But for sure played all kinds of sports outside of school, especially with all the guys who played school sports and stuff like that. So and then post high school kind of got into like youth coaching
Okay.
at a very young age,
Yeah.
at 17, 18, 19 years old, and kind of stayed in a little bit. And then as when my son was born in 2011, I kind of eyed Little League up and started trying to find it, because in Pennsylvania that is the mecca. Like
that was it.
yeah. People
Yeah.
play either American Legion baseball or
Yeah.
softball, and they played Little League, and it's not necessarily as popular down here, but
Right. And it used to be. It's just I don't know. We got that travel ball bug. And
oh
it
yeah,
just-
yeah, for sure.
It took over.
Yeah, it did. And so I got involved in what was Clayton Little League back when it was probably back in 2019, 2018 time frame. and stayed with it all the way through. My youngest son just aged out, not this year, but last year. So I actually stayed 1 year past,
Okay, okay.
past my kids, being involved in it.
So
and-
what's the age group, just real quick?
yeah, so we actually have a age group that's called Wee Ball. They
Okay,
start at
yep,
3 years old,
yep,
and
yep.
we go all the way up to 12. There's
Okay,
been years in the
okay,
past where we have had up 15U, but it's kind of sporadic on whether we're able to keep it or not keep it, and whether the interest is there or not there. But yeah, in general, every season we are 3 to 12 all the way through. So
okay. So today,
mhm.
what, how can anyone join
Yeah,
the Johnston County Little League?
yeah. So
If they're interested?
yeah, so we just finished up fall registration last week, and surprising, well, not surprising, I guess,
Yeah.
with the success we just had, our registration from fall 2025 to fall 2026 increased by 100%, which is
It's
insane. Yeah,
It's insane.
we're rivaling what our spring numbers were earlier this year. So I mean, the girls clearly had an impact
Right.
on helping our.
They put the eyes on you guys, which is
Yeah.
all you needed.
Yeah, and we're very bottom heavy league as far as age groups. So our T-ball age groups and our I will say our 8U age groups are very big for compared to most leagues around the area. So but we generally open up our spring registration in January,
Okay,
and you'll start seeing the stuff on Facebook, on our website, and we'll open it up in January, and it's as simple as going to the Town of Archer Lodge website. We're affiliated with the Town of Archer Lodge, so our registration goes through them.
Okay.
You go to their website and you're in. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a couple clicks and you're
Yeah.
signed up, and
Oh,
you know.
and one day you can be a little league
That's
World
right.
Series
One
too.
day you can play in the Little League World Series. That's what we're going to try to sell people, right?
Yeah, well, that's not a far-fetched idea now.
Not anymore,
So
no.
let's talk about the girls. I mean, I know you went to every game, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And just tell me how did this team start? How did this team get
Yeah.
started? How did
So
they form?
this was a 4-year process.
Okay.
So Ben Ketterzoli, who's their manager, and I have been working together on the Johnston County Little League board for 4 years now together. And this kind of, I don't want to say a pipe dream, but it started as a pipe dream. It's can we, and he started on the baseball side, can we get a team to Williamsport? And eventually he got lured into the softball side because his daughter's very talented.
There you go.
And he started.
That ball.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how it
That's right.
started.
Yeah, Robbie will get all over him. Shout out Robbie on today. But yeah, yeah. So he crossed over into the softball side in the 10U age group and spent a lot of time with them building a team from kind of a core of 5 kids and kind of build it to where it was this year. But I would say this year's version of the team started a year ago when they went to the state tournament a year ago, which is one step shy of Greenville, and finished third in the state, but left a lot on the table.
Okay.
They could have been there last year as a very
Yeah.
young team.
But
And
they knew what it took to get there.
they figured it out.
Yeah.
They figured out what was kind of missing and what they needed. And Ben would argue that last year's team is very competitive to this year's team, if
Right.
not better than
Right.
last year. That just circumstances happen,
Uh-huh.
and they weren't able to close it out last year. But this year they added a few pieces here and there, and it really helped push them over the top where they kind of knew where they had to be.
Right.
They modeled themselves after successful leagues throughout the state. There's 2 mecca leagues throughout the state. Rowan County and Pitt County are
Okay,
2
well,
iconic leagues.
yeah, well, definitely Pitt County. We
Yeah.
know that Eastern North Carolina Cranes had a lot of
They
baseball
do.
and softball players.
They do. Yeah,
So-
they are literally powerhouses when it comes to their girls softball, and then Greenville Little League with between Tar Heel, Greenville, and North State. They both are powerhouses every year.
Okay.
And so they modeled themselves after those 2 programs, and that was where they knew they had to go to, and that was kind of always the programs they knew they were going to have to beat to get where
Right.
they wanted to go. And then after that, it was kind of let's see what we can do after
Okay.
that. So
So did these girls all play in Little League in Johnson County, and then they just formed
yeah,
teams?
so some of them started actually at Greater Cleveland, GCAA, which is right up the road,
Yep.
and eventually transferred over to us. That's what
Okay.
we've seen is girls have started in other rec organizations and
Gotcha.
kind of worked their way over to us.
Right.
Um, And that's how some of it worked last year. Is some of the last little pieces kind of moved their way over here, but 9 out of 13 are within 10 minutes of our home park. So I mean, it really is a local team. Yeah, and literally.
Not out cherry picking
No,
from,
no,
yeah.
yeah, and
Which we
these
saw.
days in Little League, you're able to do that. There's
Right,
so many
okay.
loopholes and stuff like
Well, I was
that.
gonna say, I've heard that some teams are disqualified
Yeah.
because they got kids that are coming in outside of their district.
Yeah,
or their-
Oklahoma was supposed to be one of the best teams in the world this year and got disqualified for having a girl from Arkansas on their roster. And
And there you
I don't
go.
know the details behind
Yeah.
that, but they and actually the same Little League got kicked out in baseball too. The same exact Little League for doing similar things. So
Cheating.
it is. It's parents getting selfish and costing.
Parents and
Kids.
coaches are getting, the adult, let's say it, the adults are getting
Yeah.
selfish and the kids just want to play and they're the ones who always are the collateral damage of all the adults being selfish and just, kids need to learn how to fail.
That's right, for sure.
So they need to learn how to succeed and they need to learn how to fail.
Right.
So, but we're not gonna harp on that. That's another podcast.
Yeah, there's definitely other ones. One of the biggest competitors in Greenville was Florida. Florida is known for being able to read the rules and interpret the rules the way they want to and bring in girls from around the area. And they were a stacked team that we knew was going to be tough when we got there. And they were for sure really good.
So when did you know, or when did the coaches know that you guys had something special this year?
I think we knew
this.
when registration closed. Full disclosure, we were getting into the last few weeks of registration, and we were worried we weren't going to have enough to have an actual 12U division. And then all of a sudden, the floodgates open. I don't know what started it or what girl kind of prompted the other ones to say, "All right, we're going to go now."
Right.
But the floodgates opened at some point, and they all came in. And when we saw the talent that we had in the 12U rec division, we're like, we've got something.
Yeah.
And that's when their coaches got supremely confident that we have a legitimate chance to do it this year.
Did you guys pick? Did you guys have tryouts for the team?
Yeah. So our rec division,
the one team.
Yeah, the rec division. What happens is we split that up. We do an evaluation where we look at all the girls that are within it, and I would say our rec division had 4 teams in it, and it had 80% of them played travel ball of some form or fashion. So it was a very competitive league. So they got a chance to play in front of the coaches because all the coaches coach in that league, and they played in front of them for 12 games. And then at the end of the year, we do have a tryout for that team. But playing in front of the coaches for 12 games and then one tryout, they kind of have a good idea who's going to fit and who's not going to fit. And it's not always the best players. It's always, we tell people it's the fit that matters, and who's going to fit for the greater good of the team overall.
And chemistry and it all is a big factor in the success. So did any of these girls play travel ball, or they all just came from they all did travel ball league play? They did both?
Yep,
Okay.
all of them. There's a lot of different teams. I want to say there's 4 to 5 different travel teams that are all together. Again, we're different kind of from other leagues that were in the World Series. A lot of them are 90% of the team is one travel team, and then they add a few pieces here and there. We had one kind of, I don't want to say main one, but one, kind of put together one, and then of 5 to 6 girls, and then pieces from around different ones that came in. And I think that's what kind of got Johnston County behind the team so much, because there were so many
from the
backgrounds of different travel teams from the area. Yeah,
that's great. That's so great. And you guys just had a parade. How was that?
it was good. Yeah, it was hot, very hot. Yeah,
It 5 o'clock. It was still stifling. I know.
It was brutal. Yeah, we joked we didn't know whether we were going to have 300 or 3,000 there.
Right.
I think 105 degrees kind of put a stifle on the 3,000, but they felt. I mean, they
felt the love.
We saw numbers yesterday finally for the first time on the TV ratings, and their championship game was the second highest rated in World Series history. So
it was must-see TV.
Yeah,
Ronnie, I'm not gonna lie, it was so fun to watch every single game, and that was a cool thing about the Clayton team. They didn't play that much because they kept winning.
That's right.
You win and you play 3 days later, as opposed to if you didn't win, you had to keep battling to stay alive in the tournament. But they kept winning, so every time they were on, we were like,
it was a challenge. They won their state tournament back in the second week of July and had to kind of sit for 3 weeks and
Yeah.
not play while other
Yeah.
teams are playing in regionals.
Yep.
So
Yep.
they battle the challenges of not getting stiff, not getting
Yeah.
cold, trying to keep the streak go, keep the hot streak going and stuff like that.
Keep the mental thing going.
Yeah.
'Cause we, coaching college, that was always a challenge even for the 19, 20-year-olds.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
can imagine the 12-year-olds
Yeah.
trying to keep them focused and, all the stuff going on around them, the distractions. Because, social media, I know they're all on their
yeah.
phones and they can
Mhm.
see the hype. So
Yeah.
you can't get too hyped and get too ahead of
Uh-huh.
themselves. So
And
that's a
I
challenge.
think they didn't really know what to expect going in. I
Right.
think the first game was, going into the first game, we were kind of like, when is this going to kind of kick in, where they start
Yeah.
getting this attention on them. And honestly, they started slow. They got down to Canada, I think 2-3-0 in the first inning. And we were like, well, what in the world is going on? Because
Yeah.
this didn't look like the same team at all. And then, they turned it on from there. It
Man,
was
it-
one inning of lax, and that was the end of
It
it.
was so awesome, from your pitching, from analytics, to
Mhm.
defense, everybody
Yeah.
was in sync and it was a good supportive group. And then, of course, once their bats got going,
Oh, that was it.
it was good to see everyone was back. Both teams are always battling defensively and
Yeah.
it's hard to score, but once the bats got going, it
Yeah,
was,
and they were a 1 through 13
Yeah.
hitting team. There was no drop off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
somebody different did it
Yeah.
every game.
and as soon as one person did it, then it was like a, domino effect
Yeah.
of the hits.
Something interesting some people don't know is they talk about Anna Lynn pitching the World Series. So Anna Lynn didn't pitch a game all the way through the tournament until the state championship game. So today's day and age, there's video out,
Yeah.
and live streams and stuff like that. So teams from all over the world can scout at what you have and pull up these live streams. Well, a bit of gamesmanship. They didn't pitch her all
Right.
the way up to. That's how deep our pitching was going in. They were able to get through a district tournament of 3 games and then 2 state tournament games without
Yeah.
putting her out
Great
there.
rotation, yeah.
Yeah.
Atlanta, I said Atlanta for some reason.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah. But yeah, she got out there and 14 strikeouts first time out, and it's a lot of like we have been telling people she's good and Belle Cox was another pitcher. She
Yeah.
was very good
Yeah.
through the state tournament, district tournament, and Catherine Utek she pitched the Canada game, the opener, and then even Ben's daughter Sophie pitched a little bit
Yeah.
too, and they didn't even tap into 2 to 3 arms that they had,
they-
so
they
they were
were-
so deep.
You could tell they were crisp and clean, and
Yeah.
if you needed to put somebody else in there, they were ready to go, and there was never a drop off.
No.
It was so fun to see, and my kid is 12, getting ready to be 13, so he's the same age as him, and I was watching the girls, and I'm like, man, their pitching is on point, they're hitting their spots. I'm like, wait a minute, my 12-year-old, they're doing the same thing. So these kids have been playing wee ball, t-ball to, then they start dabbling to the travel ball. They're playing, their skill level is just so sharp by the time they're 12 and 13.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And I'm a baseball guy, admittedly. Like it took a lot of learning for me to learn the softball side, going through this running stuff like that. But I will say, girls are so much more fundamentally sound when
Yes.
it comes to the
Yes.
game,
Yes.
and doing the little things
It
right.
was so clean.
And the effort is a lot of times higher.
Yeah.
So to me, what I learned through going through the thing is I like watching girls softball at that
Yes.
age because the game is more pure, I guess, and they play the game harder.
And like I said, it was so clean how they played.
Mm-hmm.
The defense from all, when the ball was hit, everyone was moving.
Mhm.
And I attribute that to the coaching.
Yeah.
Because, all that's because of great coaching.
Yeah.
So, I'm just excited to see what the next group comes up.
Mhm.
So you got some big ones coming up
So so
for next year?
at least 2 of them can come back next year if they choose to. So Abby, the right fielder,
Okay.
she was only 11. She can come
Wow.
back next year. Peyton can come back next year. She
Okay.
is only 11. And I believe there's one other one that can come back for another season. So whether they do or not, I don't know. But there is already excitement for the next group that's going to come in that is a local based travel team that's already trying to recruit pieces around it. So, I mean, the hype is there, and
Yeah.
we were
Well,
talking about it the other day.
The bar is set now.
It is, and they saw that it's achievable. Like
Yeah.
it's not as crazy as it seems.
And you talk about it's the World Series. It's actually the World Series.
Yeah.
Football, NFL says World Series, World Champions.
Mhm.
NBA says World Champions. But
Yeah.
these are teams coming here from Japan,
Right.
Italy, Canada. This is actually kids from across the world
Yeah.
coming to play, and Clayton is the best
For sure.
in the world.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting next year, softball, and there's a strong crop of talent baseball wise that are going to be 12 next year
Okay.
that I wouldn't sleep on our baseball side next year, and they, that's another world. They're playing this week.
Yeah,
Baseball just
exactly.
started yesterday, so we'll see kind of how that falls out. But
What about that? What's that girl name? Have you been watching Kinley?
yes, I watched her yesterday.
So she struck out 8
yeah,
batters.
she is a stud. She can
Well,
throw.
well, she comes from good
Good
stock.
bloodlines.
She comes from good stock, but I mean, we're not going to divert to her.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that the boys are starting up now.
Mhm.
But the owner just walked in. So I told her, I said, it's been a great opportunity. How can McKinley's in the Little League,
Yeah.
become partners?
Yeah.
What can they do? Because, local, new ownership,
Right.
big sports fans.
Yeah.
I think that, the more that they can be involved with the community, I think, what can they do to,
Yeah.
to work with you guys?
A lot of places, what we kind of ask of them is sponsorship is the main thing. Like same like generic Little League sponsorship that's been around for years and years and years is signage on fields. It is one of the things. Spirit nights, like we partner with a lot of restaurants in the area to do, whatever X percentage off of sales that night goes back to us, and we do, we plug the business for a week or whatever to get people to come in as long as they say they're with us.
Yeah.
Smithfields is doing one next week. But I mean,
I
they're
heard that. We're gonna offer something the McKinley style in a little
Yeah,
bit. But go
okay.
ahead and keep talking.
yeah, but yeah, that stuff like that is the best way for businesses to kind of help us out because our needs are we don't really know what they are up front.
Right.
So having that financial backing to help is
Yeah.
kind of what we look for to kind of keep it
Right.
going and keep the season going throughout the year.
And in return, like you say, people come.
Oh,
They
yeah.
know that you're a part of, supporting Little League. They want to help that local business
Well,
too.
and this area is a supporter of local business. Like
Yeah.
they support,
Right.
if a local business supports youth sports and
Yeah.
high school sports in this area, they come out.
Right.
Like the Clayton, Archer Lodge, Johnston County area supports local business if local business supports the community.
Right.
And I think that's, a lot of local businesses start to see that and get more involved, it seems like. So
So here's my offer, and
We haven't talked about this.
no. This is not
Yeah.
this is not going to close the place down or hurt your pocket. No, I'm saying I saw McKinley Smithfield was doing something. I'm like, you know what? I know that the girls can't come on the weekday. I know that the coaches can't come on the weekday. They do something great for like call a Saturday morning brunch.
uh-huh.
But not so much as a brunch. I was thinking I would talk to the owner and say maybe from 11 to 2.
Yeah.
We could do a little 30-minute podcast, and then I can get them girls some wings, have their families come out, their friends come out, and just have a little 11 to 2
Yeah.
party session. I could get the DJ, and we like to have the McKinley style. Is that not right?
That's right.
That's how we do it here. And I think it would be fun for the parents to come here and see this is a great place to come watch sports. It's a family,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a family atmosphere. This locals do live here.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah.
So I just say, just throw that out to the coach.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and if Jamie's listening, Jamie's kind of doing all of their
Oh,
stuff right now. and where
Jamie
she's,
and I are like close now.
get up with Jamie. Yeah, get up
Yeah.
with Jamie. Jamie's kind of doing
Jamie and I
a lot of
are
their
like
stuff
this
now.
now. So I think it would be fun, for the community to come in here and see and meet the owners
Absolutely.
and vice versa. And you never know what something could turn out of this relationship. Would you like to come up here and tell me to shut up and stop?
Keep talking.
Making promises.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to wrap this up, but Teresa Adams is an owner of McKinley's, and she was excited to hear Ronnie was coming.
Yeah.
And I said, this could be something great, local. Let's keep it all local. Let's
Sure.
keep the kids local. Don't go to Oklahoma get kids. Let's keep the kids local. Let's keep the business interest local, and I think it'd be a great marriage. And
Yeah.
again, we have a lot of great fun here, and it's a bar restaurant, but it's family.
Oh, this place has been around for
Right, and
Yeah.
but Teresa and Jackie have come in, and they're really putting time and effort to
Mhm.
make it even, give more things to happen.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we took ownership in March, and one of the first things that we talked about was about doing more community outreach.
Slide over a little bit. And this is live, so I don't
Yeah.
mind, you know.
Have a seat.
Yeah, I want them to see you. Yeah.
We talked about right away doing more community outreach. McKinley's has been here for a long time. We have a solid foundation of customers that support us and have been wonderful through this transition. But Jackie and I felt like one of the things that was missing was the community outreach. We built a relationship with the Clayton High School football coaches. They come in and spend time with us, and we love talking with them. During the softball World Series, we had every game on in here. We watched it, and
Yeah.
we were cheering and got other people who wouldn't normally
Yep.
watch
Yeah.
girls softball.
Get into it.
We got them into it and hyped it up, and it was a blast, and we want to do more of that. So being able to build relationship with our folks here in Johnston County, and of course we're running a business, but we like to have fun. We like to be involved in sports,
Yeah.
any kind of sports.
Really, I mean, yeah.
So anyway, but I really appreciate you coming in today and spending some time with Johnston. Johnston and I have been friends for a very long time, and happy to see this finally happening and continuing on. And would love to have some of the girls come.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna try to. Jamie and I, we're gonna hook up something to get them to come in for 3 hours, just midday, so they're out of here and still can have this Saturday.
Mhm.
And we're just gonna celebrate and party with them.
Yeah.
I love the idea of having them come in,
Like the
whatever, can work the time out with her, and we'll figure out the
And
details.
whoever can show up, come on. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. We'll get it worked out.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, man. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Again, thank you, Ronnie,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
coming out. And like I said, he asked me, I'm getting some traction. Now, a lot of people are watching because people are telling me, and say, yeah. So this is, I want them to know we're legitimately going to talk sports, and there's so many topics related to sports that someone doesn't even know about. And now they know about Johnston County
Yeah.
Little League, and you guys are, are blowing up all over the place. We're going to get you here. We're going to celebrate you, and it's happening very soon. All right.
For sure.
Thank you so much for coming out. And thank you again, Teresa, for having me. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. If you caught us midway, I'll have this podcast on YouTube channel, my YouTube channel at whoneedone.com. And until next Wednesday, who need one?